G'day folks, Blue here, welcome back to Solarpunk, where today we are headed back out to the snowy biomes. We visited the snowy biomes the first time in the previous episode, but we didn't really find too much out there. So I kind of want to visit the last two islands, just to see if we can find the resources that we're supposed to find out there, particularly with us sort of holding on to these solar panels, drills and cables and whatnot. I kind of want to get everything set up. Plus, we're probably going to need to deliver diamonds, and we're going to need to deliver capsicums eventually as well. So we'll probably wait until the day is over before deciding to head out. While we're waiting, there's probably one thing that we can do here, which is to check in on these sky turbines and to see if we can't just simply make one to make a judgment call on how much energy it's producing, and also how we're going to incorporate all of that into, well, our current build over here in this house, but also the new build, the final home. So we need a circuit board, and perhaps maybe that's the first thing we need to pay attention to. And then we're going to need everything else. So circuit board will require our algae, and then we need cloth, and I think we're also going to need some iron. So let's bring all of that with us, and hopefully we can get what's needed. So the circuit boards are made... Ooh. Just trying to remember where circuit boards are made from. Oh yes, that's right. We do have a few... What? A cat in the box statue? Where did this come from? Like, I don't remember picking this up somewhere, unless... Was it part of the rewards? Maybe it's part of the reward for, you know, unlocking the pedestal. I'm not entirely sure, actually. Sorry, let's go back to... here, circuit board. Oh, we need some cobalt for that. Alright, it's been a while. We've only ever made the one circuit board for the upgrade to our clay drone. There we go. So, one sky turbine coming up. And from there, we can sort of place it down and have a play around. I don't know how much space it's going to require, but we'll figure it out. So let's drop all of that there. And before we head out to our build site, I would love to bring all this wood with us, because we keep needing to stop our experimental build because we don't have enough materials to, you know, do the test with. So even if it's just wood, we'll be able to know whether or not we can actually achieve what we want to achieve. Okay, looking good. Probably should organize the furnace area, just make sure that we're continually producing stuff. Do we want more copper? I say so. Copper and clay is the priority at the moment. But I'm sort of doing clay here because we do actually have a lot of bricks at the moment. So we could probably afford to slow it down a little bit. Okay, so, with that, let's just drop in this. And we shall see how it works. Okay, so not enough space in the sky for a turbine. I might just place it here initially. That thing is gigantic. But we should be able to hook it up, right? So, okay, that's maybe a little bit too far. So let's bring it in a little closer. There. Alright. Oh, okay. So as the wind comes in, it will just orient itself to the direction that it's blowing from. And let's just have a look at how much energy this is producing. Wow. So it's almost equivalent to the 6 windmills that we've got operating. Which is kind of crazy. So for the cost of 1 sky turbine, you can run so many things, provided the wind is actually blowing. Which, I mean, it is. It's probably not blowing as hard though, but yeah, the battery is 100% full at the moment. We could probably get rid of some of these wind turbines, and we can set up the sky turbine instead. So we might come back to that. But that was a nice little experiment there, at least to check things out. Do we still have enough cables? So we're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that should be enough. Time for bed. So first things first is we'll organize some breakfast, and we'll organize a snack for, you know, when we eventually head out. I'd actually bring a muffin with me as a snack. And then for breakfast we'll have eggs, and we'll have one of the watermelon juices, and I think we'll be set for the entire day. So let's stash that for the moment, and then let's have a look at the farm. So what do we have growing here? I think it's probably still corn. We are sort of growing the cotton very slowly, but if I'm going to be out for an extended period of time, it's probably not the best idea to continue with more cotton for the moment. So we'll probably stash the cotton seeds, and we'll refocus our efforts on other stuff. Question is, do we want to go with paprika immediately? We could. Don't know how quick this grows, actually. But yeah, let's maybe start growing a batch, and we'll sort of see how we go. The test might be to see whether or not we make it back to some paprika, or if we make it back to some dregs to collect. Let's collect these. And do we have enough space for more stuff? I mean, I've got a lot of things on me, and it's probably a good idea for us to maybe just tidy things up somewhat. That's still going. We'll leave it. Alright, so let's go to storage, and then let's just drop in a few things here and there. Actually, I might make some cloth. And we'll drop all of that in together with all of the other stuff. Bang. The bricks I do need with me. Am I going to swing by the build site right away? I'm thinking probably not. In which case, maybe I can argue for the bricks to stay here. And I could probably make an argument for the stones as well. Sand and glass. Everything else still looks good. What about the battery? I'm carrying this battery because... Oh yeah, that's right. That's a spare battery from our adventures. So for whatever reason, the crates are giving us batteries. Not complaining, you know, so it's a nice thing. Got the hoe on me because we might actually be needing to set up a farm out at the new site sometime soon. But maybe that isn't really required right now because we are still testing stuff. Anywho, let's not worry too much and let's make it out to the last couple of islands here. And I'm kind of expecting a little bit from the last island that we might go to, because we have that sort of storm wall, which I'm kind of keen on checking out. Is that even a thing, or perhaps maybe the storm has just all but disappeared? But anywho, we'll start with this one first. Just trying to orient ourselves here. I think that's the one over there. Yeah, it is a bit of a long journey, isn't it? Now, I kind of feel like, with the food and drink mechanic of the game, I do like it, but I feel like there's not really too much pressure applied to the player to constantly manage food and thirst, or hunger and thirst. And I feel like maybe that could have been designed or balanced a little bit better. I feel like even if we leave on a relatively full stomach, you probably wouldn't really have much of an issue, even if you didn't bring much of a snack with you. Okay, there we go. The last island. It has a little bit of a waterfall going there. Maybe we can find some algae down there. I might start by landing up top over here. We'll work our way back. Hopefully there's no areas that are, you know, inaccessible. I see some capsicums already, I think. Or is that tomatoes? Beautiful capsicums. Or paprikas, excuse me. A bit of copper here. I actually don't have a spare pickaxe on me. Though, even if we do run out, I think we could still get ourselves another pickaxe. Actually, if this one runs out, it might actually be a good idea to get the, you know, the last version of the pickaxes. I think it's the diamond pickaxe. Although we don't actually have access to a bunch of diamond at the moment, so maybe I'm speaking too soon. There it goes. Yeah, we'll use a really basic pickaxe for now. Might have some goodies here. Okay. I didn't even need to bring any snacks with me, guys. These islands have all that we need, at least for the first adventure. There it is. That's what we're looking for. We have the diamonds. Okay, let's set things up. I wonder where I should orient my solar panels. I wonder if I can get a couple of solar panels just on the ledge there. Is there enough space? Yeah, I think so. Is that going to be problematic, I wonder, though? As in, you know, if the sun's sort of setting towards one end, potentially you could have a situation where it's not getting enough sun, or perhaps maybe when the sun is setting or the sun is rising, whichever one is the problem. But it seems nice to have it sort of out of the way, if that makes sense. Oh, no. No. Not what we want. Okay. So it's running now, and we've got a little bit of diamond coming in, which is good. We might have to trek out this way more regularly, unless I want to set up my drones a little bit differently. So instead of collecting copper and iron, we can easily collect the copper and iron ourselves for the time being. And we can sort of have one of the drones go out to pick up diamond instead. Maybe. With the big floating turbine, we could actually set up more drones if we wanted to. How many capsicums did we get? Paprikas did we get? 2. I'm looking for one more at the very least. I think I see some algae down there. Might be a good idea to try and grab. Probably shouldn't be ignoring the sticks, actually. We could throw the sticks into the generator at the build site. Did I go for this one already? No. Yeah, I forget that they do actually disappear once it's emptied out. Bit of corn. If we run out of space, though, I might just let go of the corn. Maybe let's climb up this way. See if there's anything special up here. Okay, this loops back around, I think. I think that's the island, guys. Probably nothing else for us to grab. Unless we're interested in this stuff, which, maybe I am. Although, I might actually have trouble storing other stuff when we get to the other island, so perhaps maybe it's not the best thing for us to do. Bit of cotton here. Again, I feel like it's just gonna clog up our inventory. In fact, I feel like the berry seeds are probably clogging things up for us a little bit, but... and so is the corn. But anyway, let's head out and let's go to the next island. I'm expecting interesting things out there, hopefully, crossing my fingers. Actually, sorry, we were headed the right way already. Just up that way. It is actually getting a little bit late, isn't it? Like, I wonder if it's better for us to, head home and just go out on the next day. I think that's probably a good idea because, we could risk ruining our crops if we let them mature any further. So yeah, let's head home. That'll give us the opportunity to clean up our inventory as well. So it's not quite night, and I'm thinking this could be a good opportunity for us to just swing by to the algae farm. Wishing I had my carafe with me, but all good. And I'm not going to worry about the iron, to be honest, because we've got a lot of iron ores, to be fair. Okay. It is a gigantic old thing, isn't it? I don't know, I almost feel like it's a bit of an eyesore. Does anyone else think so? I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking things, as usual. Alright, so let's deal with the farm. And we do have our capsicums, actually, so that's good. Oh no. What is that? I think that's... Oh, maybe it might be like corn or something. I can maybe fix that immediately. Can I? Yeah, I can. And... just drop that back in. And... Let's get capsicums growing instead. Okay, looking good. Just quickly throw my seeds in here. I'll probably convert some of this beeswax into honey. Throw that in there. Paprikas. Yeah, we've got actually a few other bits and pieces here. Might be a good idea to make some feed. We'll fix that up in the morning. Okay, a couple of things to do in the morning. We'll just make sure these guys are fed. We'll make sure this is operating. And this one too. And I am going to change this one to Dia. It'll still be collecting copper for the time being, until we can actually set it up properly. But I'll do that maybe as I swing back around, back to our home. A few other bits and pieces here. Maybe breakfast. We're slowly running out of space for anything, really. I've got way too many batteries now. Okay. Copper ores, which I might hang on to for a little bit later. Okay, spot of breakfast. Okay, looking good. I think we've got plenty of space for stuff. So, time to head out. So, final island, here we come. Hopefully we are headed the right direction. No, it should be out that way. That might be it, right there. Oh, one thing that I've not done, and I should have been doing this throughout the episode, but I should be collecting all of the goodies that the animals are leaving behind, so yes. Maybe a food basket by the end of this episode at the very least. So I like how the airship has like all these leaves and stuff like that decorated on it. But I sort of think it'd be really cool if there was a way for us to decorate our own airship. Perhaps maybe that might open up a whole raft of new unlockable things that you can spend with your tickets. And perhaps maybe a few new gameplay mechanics as well. Oh, very interestingly shaped island here. I think it's all connected, so I should be able to just simply land down below and work our way up. There's something going on down there. That looks like maybe another clay mine? It does look like it, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm not going to worry about mining at all though, and probably not going to set up like a mine here, because, well, it's a little bit far. And do we really need that much clay? And that much brick? I suppose maybe there is an argument if you're just using that as your primary building type, building resource. Alright, we've got the 2 paprika seeds here, which should give us 6 crop segments whenever we want to grow some paprika. And that should speed up the process of us turning all the paprikas in with the trader. So I reckon that's probably going to happen in the next episode. I might as well grab that. I think we're still looking a little bit empty. This is probably just some silicon. Or quartz, rather. Okay, no storms in sight. So, not gonna lie, a little bit disappointed that there's no storms here. I reckon that's a little bit of a missed opportunity. Because imagine, you know, having to explore while the storm is about and maybe getting some, like, better rewards out here. This seems like a very, very big open space designed for, you know, like whether or not you wanted to have like a very big singular structure as a home. Potentially. It could be a decent build site for some of you guys if you're playing the game as well. If you're looking for a spot that's super clear. Although you'd have to be content with the snowy biome though. Is that it? I think that might be it actually. Yeah, this overlooks everything else. Yeah, I don't really see anything else out here, so... There you go, guys. That is the extent of all of the islands in the game at the moment, at the very least. Again, don't know if the devs are planning to stage out, you know, new releases with more content. It would be nice if they did, actually. I feel like there could be other biomes that people would want to visit. Hang on a second. Did we explore the middle sections? Did we find all the things out here? There's a little bit of silicon. Quartz. That's about it. Alright. I think it's time to head back. I wish I brought all of my wood. We could have maybe swung by the build site to continue testing on this day. Oh, good. So what I might do is we'll head back to the other island that we were just at on the previous day, and we'll set up our diamond collection, and then we'll head home. I think that might actually be the day, right? Considering where the sun is, I think it's maybe just above us. Yeah, we could continue and stay out and about. But yeah, I mean, coming back to the whole food thing, and this is part of the problem, right? Like, once you've explored most of the islands, there is not really much more to do aside from building on them. And, you know, maybe a few bits and bobs here and there. But there's no real reason for you to have, like, all this food constantly. Because having your fill in the morning is more than enough to, you know, get you back home without feeling hungry or thirsty. Yeah, I reckon they could have maybe made the rate of which getting hungry or getting thirsty occurs, and that way there's more of a purpose for you to, you know, constantly eat and drink. Alright, here we are. Just trying to remember where the setup is. I think it's like down this way somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Slightly hidden away. Alright, so what I might do is actually get rid of some of these. Just so that it's a little bit clearer for us to take off in that direction. Alright, and because we can, I'll also just return some of these. Hopefully that's not going to become a problem for the solar panels over there. Actually, is this even necessary? I'm just sort of thinking, if we've got drones picking all of this up anyway, I'm actually not going to return here. So, yeah, maybe it is kind of pointless. So, my bad. So, got a little bit of diamond already. I will get Daya to come out here regularly. It just means that for the moment we might need to be a little bit more on the ball with collecting copper, especially. But I reckon with the floating turbines in operation, we might actually set up like a full complement of drones eventually. I'm just not entirely sure if I want to do that right away since we're moving and all. I feel like, you know, it'd be a bit of a waste that I set everything up and then only have to like collect it again once we move to the new home. Anyway, let's focus up on going home, wrapping up a few things there. We might have a sleep, and then first thing I'm gonna do in the morning is have a bit of breakfast, maybe tidy up the farm, and then we'll go out to the build site and we'll do some testing towards the end of the episode. I think that's probably a good plan. Oh, do we want to swing by the algae farm? That's actually not a bad idea, is it? Keep forgetting about the fact that we've got algae to collect. Easy does it. Alright, that wasn't really that much. Could have probably waited. All good. Now, we did also unlock a whole bunch of stuff in the previous episode. So we are finally at the last tier of stuff. So we do need to look into additional decorations and additional other sort of functional items. Alright, first things first though, farm needs looking after. We are looking for sunflowers. Sunflower seeds. Alright, capsicums, great. Unfortunately, the corn is not done yet, but I reckon that might actually be done, well, tomorrow, you would hope. By the end of the day, it'll be done. And then, by the time we pick up all the corn, I think we should be able to then grow, like, 6 paprikas at a time. So, that's the plan, anyway. Right, let's do some tidying up. I feel like I've got, like, too much stuff on me. Why doesn't, like, some of this stuff, like, simply transfer over? That I don't get, actually. Yeah, definitely need more storage. I could get some more crates, like, right in this position. I'd probably build, like, another, like, shelf area there. Get a couple more crates on each side. Might not be a bad idea. Yeah, it's unclear how the game decides what is going to be tidied up and what isn't. Like here. Why isn't, like, all of the seeds being taken? Strange. Anyway, bedtime. So let's just check in with the animals. Let's make the food basket for tickets. There's also the matter of continuing with processing stuff. Let's go with a little bit of silicon this time. Okay. Food basket. We shall sell that. I might also do some breakfast. And actually, hang on a second. Okay, I probably stashed away the tacos. All good. Well, speaking of tacos, maybe I'll grab one for our snack. Switch that on. Let's sell that. Brilliant. Our corn's almost done, actually. I wonder if I should just wait and then get the capsicums in. Might not be a bad idea. Okay, looking good. I was gonna see if I could play around with, like, removing the windmills and just having the floating turbine, but I'll actually come back to that. I'll bring all of my wood. Actually, I probably should also have all of my stone and brick, in fact. Okay. I do still have a little bit of space on me, so let me just craft myself. Should I do a few chests? I think it's easy enough to make that I won't really fuss over whether or not I need them. I'll just make them, because it'll make life easier in the long run. We've got a whole bunch, obviously, out at the new build site as well. But yeah, so we'll use those when we need to. But for now, let's make our way back out. Excuse me, game? Yeah, that's a bit weird. I do find that there's a little bit of jank in this game, particularly when it comes to the airships, so don't know why that's the case. I mean, you guys saw, I mean, if you have been following along, that is, but you guys saw how I had a few instances where I got, like, instantly teleported from one place all the way back to our airship dock. Don't know why that happens, but anyway. It hasn't really happened again ever since, so crossing my fingers, the devs have actually addressed that issue, whatever it was. So another thing that we haven't really done in the past is we haven't exactly set up any of our like tech-related items using energy that's generated from further away. So technically what you could do is you could just make a whole bunch of these batteries slash cables, and you can have like energy generation going on like really, really far away out of sight somewhere, and then you could sort of just like run the power lines to where you need it to be and, you know, have just a bunch of energy coming in that way. So yeah, it could be something that we explore doing for this home. I could sort of eye, you know, energy generation going on like all the way out back there. And that way it's not really going to ruin the view so much. But anywho, we are here for the build, for the test. So we should see if we can achieve things. So let's maybe just add a little bit more there, and I kind of want to add more to this side. That's what we want. Yeah. With the snapping being a little bit finicky, you sort of need to figure out which order you need to build in. Whoops. It's not what I wanted. Okay. I mean, just for completeness sake, get a few of these pieces in as well. So the real test, I keep saying, is going to be how clipping affects placing down roofs, and whether or not we can actually achieve like a clean looking roof without, you know, too much jankiness. I'm prepared for a little bit of jank, but not a lot. Don't want too much of it. Alright, so we could potentially see like a small gap like that. But I think it might also depend on whether or not we could place down other pieces like this, for instance, right? Like, that might work in our favor. Potentially. Depending on how we address the rest of it. Yeah, let's go in with like some half pieces. So it's really going to be these corner sections that are potentially problematic. Okay, so you could do something like that, and then... Maybe... Yeah, so if I did something like so... I wonder when the small square segments can actually come into play. If I get rid of that for a second. Okay, you can get a little bit down there, although I think the way to trick that into being placed is if you have a half piece like so, you can actually then place it down. Something like that. That doesn't look too bad, actually. And then you can get rid of everything else. And it should stay. And then you'll be able to sort of clean things up. Like so. Have a look at the other side. Yeah, you'll get a little bit of jank inside. That's okay. That's what all of the decorations and stuff are going to be for. We'll, you know, try and hide, like, jankiness. So, can it be achieved? That's the question. I think the answer is yes. We could potentially achieve better looking builds. I don't think the test is over just yet, though. So maybe what we want to try and do is test out how the roof eventually joins. Like up top. Yeah, because, I mean, you can see this already becoming a bit of a problem. Maybe it's a matter of doing something like that. Yeah. So you can sort of, again, clip stuff. And then the real test if we do decide to go and build in this way, is how well we hide this sort of stuff, right? It's gonna come down to our ingenuity. One of these days I'm gonna fall. Still got plenty of wood. Yeah, I do realize the timing of the episode as well, guys. We're probably gonna wrap up shortly. Probably want this up top, right? Yeah, just, again, testing out how this is all gonna play with each other. Okay. Oh, it is nighttime already. Bit of a soggy night here. Alright. And then I suppose the other thing for us to consider is the orientation of the roofs, right? So we might have that roof sort of orienting like so, and then maybe this roof needs to orient the other way. Otherwise we'll have like a gigantic attic. Unless maybe this is going to be the main building and we, you know, make it like, I don't know, double story or something like that, and then we'll have a roof pointing maybe in the direction that we've currently set it up in, but we'll have, you know, a lot more space above it. Yeah, a lot of things to think about. Okay, guys, I think this has been really good. A worthwhile test to see if things are going to be achievable if we play around with clipping. I think it is. I think we're going to stick with the clipping until the game tells us that it is absolutely impossible to do. But I reckon we're going to have some good results, so I'm kind of looking forward to being able to, I guess, clip my way to a better design. I still haven't really finished with the entire layout, plus we did have a bit of an issue out this side with the height of the foundation not actually reaching where it needed to reach, essentially. So we might actually need to play around with the height a little bit. I don't know if I am prepared to get rid of the foundation immediately. Maybe what we could do is we could try tiering out the space a little bit. Like, if I did something like that, and if I added, like, a foundation piece, will that play well? Or maybe not. Maybe we are going to be forced to, you know, place down new foundations. So I think maybe this height is probably where we need it to be, or maybe even up here, as I think this might be even higher. So we might need to sort of build from the largest point. Again, a little bit frustrating that we have to restart from scratch, but I don't mind, because this was a little bit of a test anyway. Right, guys, a good episode. Very productive, I feel. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Drop a like down below if you have. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Do these sorts of videos every single day. But otherwise, stay true, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.